guys in the studio focusing pretty much on Berdych's serve. He's got to serve well. Second serve might be inviting for Federer. First serve is important.
Yeah, definitely high percentage, but his percentage is higher these days since his ball toss is much lower.
Let second serve.
Oh, it's missed. He's not going to challenge. I think it did miss. I love the sound that forehand makes.
It's a different sound. It's so heavy, and I think he hits the ball in the middle of the racket so often, Thomas Berdych. Doesn't look like he has any racket head speed at all. He just lays the racket on the ball. Speed at all. He just lays the racket on the ball.
40-15.
Wearing the cap the other way around these days again, as he started off in his career. Trying to prove he's still a youngster.
We're trying to remind Federer of the first time they met in Athens, in the Olympics.
14 years ago. And Berdych's not the only one with a forehand.
I just love the matchup, because if Berdych is to win this match, we know Federer is going to throw everything at Berdych in terms of tactics and slice backhands and coming forwards and drop shots. And if Federer wins, usually it's an exhibition of just shot making.
Again, Berdych.
It's a useful start for the Czech.
First game.
Seeded 19, ranked 20. Of course, he has been in the top 4. He was 4 back in May of 15. If he loses this match, he'll go 16, and more than likely, if he wins it, he'll go 11. Of course, even if he wins, there's still 2 more matches, so very likely he'll be back in the top 10.
Roger Federer to serve.
Federer won't go 1, even if he wins the tournament, but he'll close the gap on Nadal. Just seemed like a blocked return.
Yeah, well, he definitely has to take care of the Federer second serve and force Federer to not go for aces on his first serve.
15 all.
Didn't change his mind, Federer.
Grand Slam tennis at this level is a serious business, but Federer looks more and more serious, doesn't he, every year on court?
I'm not going to even say what I'm thinking right now after you read that. The most trusted I think he's a little bit grumpy.
Yes.
No, he looks a little bit so businesslike. Looks grumpy on the court.
You just can't pick which way he's going.
Ball. Steady, 14.
And if he is grumpy, it's probably because it's not perfect. Even for Federer, it has to be perfect, and it's never quite that.
I think he's the last person to think he's perfect.
Great second serve.
Yeah, and that's the thing about Federer. He really does strive, though, for perfection. I think that's what you see about him. Any match, any surface, any time in his career, always gives it his absolute best. Oh!
Yeah, he called it out.
Mr. Berdych challenging the call, right baseline. Ball was called out.
Berdych could be a feisty customer. This better be out. Oh, it's a good call. Well done, Fergus.
Advantage, Federer. Let's first serve.
Some return.
And he can do that on both sides, Berdych. That's what makes him so dangerous on a faster court like this. If he decides before he's going to be that aggressive.
He's not purring at the moment. Second chance for Berdych. Anybody who thought it was automatic, this better rethink. Federer not serving well, making mistakes. Berdych taking advantage.
Yeah, Berdych being so aggressive in his second serve return. And at some point he'll start coming forwards to Berdych. I've watched most of his matches here at the Australian Open, and I think the Goran Ivanisevic effect is finally taken effect. He changed his serve, lowered the ball toss.
Was ich gesehen habe, hat sehr offensiv gespielt. Ja, gut aufgeschlagen natürlich auch, ist immer wichtig bei seinem Spiel, und ja, der wird sich wahrscheinlich auch sagen, dass er nichts zu verlieren hat, so wie es letztes Jahr gelaufen ist, und ja, er muss sicher mal was Neues probieren. Wenn man auch mal nacheinander verliert, probiert man was Neues, und das macht ihn sicher gefährlich. Am Schluss, glaube ich, ist einfach sehr wichtig, ja, wer nahe an der Linie spielen kann, so die Details verrate ich jeweils nicht so gerne, oder, aber am Schluss ja, wird sicher darum gehen, wer seine Offensive besser einsetzen kann, und da ist natürlich der Aufschlag immer sehr wichtig. Wie man den Punkt anfängt, ist sicher ein Schlüssel.
But he's got himself brilliantly prepared for this.
He's striking the ball beautifully. Assuming he's going forward a little bit more, because he's hit a lot of winners already. Forehand seems to have improved.
We're not used to this. It's been pretty automatic his path through to this quarter-final.
We've actually done a study at Eurosport about how high up you hit your serve, depending on how high your toss is. And the higher your toss is, the lower down you actually make contact with the ball, because it comes down much quicker and harder to time it. So the players that reach to the fullest hit the ball when it turns around.
That's fascinating, because he did have the most enormous ball toss. And he's made a pretty enormous start to this match. He leads 3-love.
Love 15.
Missing on both wings. Concern misses. That's what we expect.
15 all.
Well, as soon as he starts serving better and higher percentage of first serves, getting free points, it's going to put so much more pressure on Berdych's serve as well.
She knows it's very early days. There's almost relief in the crowd's reaction. Yes, it is Roger Federer out there, not this guy that couldn't work out what he was doing.
It's going to be, it's obviously harder for him the faster the courts are to try and slow things down when his opponents are playing great, like Thomas Berdych has come out to do Roger Federer, and he's most probably less willing these days to change things up. I think Federer's, this is how I'm going to play. We saw that in last year's final against Nadal. I'm going to play, go for it. If I miss, I miss.
Oh, just out. Good looking shot. Yeah, and that was never more evident than in the final set when the chips were really down.
Yeah, no, for sure. He wanted, if he was going to lose, it was going to look a certain way.
15 all.
Well, that is a worry for Berdych because he'd cracked that forehand deep and still couldn't win the point.
Yeah, that's sometimes when they approach shot, he's nearly too good here, nearly too deep. Federer just had to go left for it rather than backwards or forwards.
Federer attacked this second serve. Berdych played well right from the second serve, which was a good one.
30 all.
Federer trying to slow things down just a little bit there.
No. Too casual. It was the right shot, but for once he didn't really give it 100%.
Not sure if he didn't get in close enough, but yeah.
What a let-off. We thought he'd lost that point.
Yeah,
There's the celebration. And I don't think Roger Federer will be too pleased with what happened at the end there, because he had a chance, instead of which it's 4-1. Even on Sunday there's a heat warning, which we didn't have last week. Initial temperature forecast is for 38, 39, but it might get even hotter. So the final, of course, the men's final is in the evening. They're worried about general public during the day.
That's a result of Berdych going after the return of the second serve of Federer.
It's interesting because Federer's not compromising much on the first serve.
30-15.
Not yet.
Just 1 point behind his second serve, 1 out of 7.
Oh.
It's pretty nifty.
That's one of the shots that the guys are so good at these days, because they got such a unbelievable racket head speed, acceleration through it, and they can hit the half volleys. And once you've given Federer a little bit of a bigger racket head, no problem.
And a very rapid game, despite the double.
Berdych leads.
Still, Berdych with a healthy advantage. The games race by when Federer is playing, don't they?
Mr. Federer challenging the call, left baseline. Ball was called out.
He's not enjoying this. That's the sort of thing that's happening.
15-9. Mr. Federer has 2 challenges remaining.
Yes, Miles produced a fascinating stat, Miles McLagan, just before, during the studio, that 75% of points with Roger Federer are less of 5 shots or less. Which is all very well when it's all purring, but it's not here. And Berdych is a game away from taking this opening set.
New balls, please.
depth from Berdych.
Yeah, he's hitting the lines, that's for sure. So the tricky part for Berdych is going to be, is he going to hope that Federer is going to stay at this level, or is Berdych going to keep pressing and make sure Federer doesn't find his rhythm?
First one of those that he's really ripped.
15 all. Steady 15.
He's finding the spots now. Last couple of service games.
Se ha detectado una amenaza.
Well, he guessed that Federer was going to move to his right. But now the key game. Berdych serving for the set.
Berdych leads 5 games to 3.
He's still hitting the ball well though, Berdych, in this game too. A couple of decent returns. Federer changing things up, which is so exciting to see.
Crowd love that.
A little bit slow moving out to that backhand, Berdych. And then he was late.
Horse correction. Oh, so Federer is challenging the correction.
Service line ball was called in.
This is a rule that I think they have to change. If this serve is in, obviously Berdych gets 2 serves.
It is in.
And I mean, Berdych has already missed his first serve. It seems he should just get the second serve again, but another day.
Yeah, not popular. Again, the depth of Berdych.
Mr. Federer has one.
Even Federer couldn't cope with that.
Yeah, just maybe a little cautious there. 1 forehand he had Federer, we could have come forwards.
Every Federer success is cheered to the echo here.
It's just not that much belief there for Berdych, it seems. When this rally gets going and Federer starts looping a couple of forehands, suddenly Berdych tries to pull off a nearly impossible shot, and that's the second backhand down the line he's hit now. Way off target.
So the first break points for the champion.
Mr. Federer challenging the call. That
Did look like it might have been long.
Was called in.
Fergus Murphy's normally not slow to get involved, but he didn't then. But it did look, I think this is going to be very, very close. Federer doesn't normally do that in the middle of a rally. Hawkeye was surprised. If it doesn't work, they have to go with the original call, which is that the ball was in.
I actually think that Berdych missed the volley.
Ladies and gentlemen, Hawkeye are unable to show the graphic for the last call, but the call was in.
Oh, so Hawkeye's saying it was in. So it did work, they just couldn't show the graphic.
Oh, that's just horrific.
He'd like to have seen it. It's a big time for Hawkeye to fail. Well, he'd obviously got the decision, but Federer would have loved to have seen it.
Thank you. Please.
Now. You know, he's not happy. And Fergus Murphy is probably not very comfortable. It is still break point. But it was just the graphic that wasn't being shown.
Thank you.
Hawkeye did endorse the initial decision. Ball was in. And wouldn't you know that was going to happen?
Yeah, no, that's a little bit of bad luck, but again, I'm not sure if you can challenge that call if you're Roger Federer. That seems a bit risky.
Answering in the best possible way.
And this in the long run might help Roger Federer fire him up a little bit. He seems a little bit flat up to this point. I mean, that little argument he had, it's pretty obvious the answer that he was going to get, but just to get himself going.
Yes. Even Roger Federer is not going to get things changed. Oh! But he's not getting the breaks at the moment. He so seldom needs breaks like that, but he's getting none right now.
Yeah, this is an excellent choice by Thomas Berdych. Might seem risky, but Federer is so far behind the baseline, trying to defend.
Advantage, Berdych.
Fastest serves so far, 205. 127 miles an hour. Set point. Oh. This is getting quite spicy now.
I mean, this shot is just, he just did never even try to do this with his old Wilson racket that had a much smaller head.
Wonderful attacking play, and he's got a fourth chance.
Advantage Federer.
He's so eager here, Federer. Cannot drop the ball short to his forehand anymore.
I think you're right, that little ruck he had with Bergersmer, well, discussion, animated discussion, seems to have turned him around. Can it turn the set around? Too good. Federer turning it on. And look at people standing. Quite a lot of them already. And we're only in the first set, but they've got what they want. Federer's back in this.
Berdych leads 5 games to 4.
Must be.
Exactly.
Because if you're comfortable with that, woof.
And it worked. And I think Fergus feels comfortable with it now.
And change
Yes.
later. Thanks.
Now he's got a break. He's got the line. Berdych having a look, but no challenge. The way this is fundamentally turning right now, you just wonder whether Berdych's missed his chance. He's done nothing wrong.
No. Yeah, and he only had one chance. He had one game point, and he had to hit a second serve, and that's when Federer stepped in and ripped that backhand down the line. Suddenly it seems Federer is hitting the lines.
40 love.
Oh! just fabulous. No change of expression, but very much a change of attitude within.
The people's faces, and you see them in the crowd when he pulls the shot off like that.
And Berdych won't be surprised, he's seen it so many times before. But this is a dangerous service game now for Berdych, because Federer's tail is well and truly up. Well done. That wasn't coming back.
15 love.
It's hard to say if he's pulled back a little bit, Berdych. Obviously Federer is playing better, but it's really important that he steps in even more than he did early on. Berdych has to send a message to Federer that he is going to be the one that's aggressive.
Love. Let's first one.
He was quick, but it was just too good from Berdych.
40 love.
Well, I'm surprised. I thought that was going to be a real test. But Berdych came back very well then. So it's 6-5.
Antes que Federer la ha pedido, no sé Sí, un poco peculiar todo.
Sí, señor.
Como decía Antonio, quizás lo que le han dicho al juez de silla es que ha sido buena, que no la han podido mostrar en pantalla, pero que ha sido buena y por eso se la han quitado. Debe ser esa la explicación.
Eso se le va a Roger. Cuidadín, que es 30 iguales, siempre es jugar con fuego, aunque casi diríamos que está de moda, entre comillas, ese tanteo. Los partidos muy ajustados.
Le sucedió ayer a Cilic, que en uno de los sets se quedó sin posibilidad de utilizar el ojo de halcón. De hecho, se quejó en algún momento por alguna pelota, pero no pudo recurrir a la tecnología.
Segundo saque. Uy, 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 amigos, es la cuarta de Roger. Ha hecho una racha de 2, pero es que esto es set point.
Sí, hay una cosa que es bastante impresionante, que es los segundos puntos ganados por parte de Federer en este primer set, es el 17%. Creo que no recuerdo un partido en el que Federer ganara tan pocos puntos con su saque de segundo.
Y otra vez problemas.
Gran restador Berdych, pero...
Qué maravilla de tenis. Qué maravilla de tenis. Roger quiso dominar, pero no se dejó, ¿eh? Segundo set point salvado por su parte.
Sí, pero esto me ha encantado por parte de Federer. Un punto comprometido. Él está acostumbrado siempre a atacar y jugar agresivo. Y aquí ha tirado con una derechita cortada. Aquí se ve, después de este palo.
Sí,
fíjate cómo le ha hecho jugar a Berdych, cambiando totalmente la velocidad y le ha enganchado ahí al checo.
Y ahora sexto ace de Federer, 2 set points salvados, intentando llevarnos a un desempate o tie break. Prometería emociones, pero en fin, Miroslava nerviosa. ¿Alguien ha chillado algo? ¿Great? ¿O qué? No lo sé, chicos.
Alex y yo tenemos más confianza, le llamamos Mirka directamente. Sí. Y iba a decir que una de las novedades del torneo es la cámara que tienen puesta en el juez de silla, con la que hemos visto cómo Federer se acercaba, por ejemplo, a hablar y cómo hemos visto algunos de los puntos, y creo que es una buena inclusión.
Roger mejorando su estadística en momentos además cumbres de este primer set. 10:24 de la mañana en parte de Europa, las 8:24 de la tarde. Noche ya en Melbourne. Qué placer, Alex, sacar y smashar siempre en tenis.
Sí, piensa que ese smash al final parecía muy sencillo, pero estaba cayendo. Era un tanto arriesgado, la podría haber dejado botar perfectamente, pero bueno, han llegado al tiebreak. Aquí se va a ver, saca perfecto una vez más Federer. Y al final, ves que le ha tocado. Poco a la mitad.
Pues ahora
recibe. Cómo la afronta Berdych, porque en Wimbledon los dos primeros tiebreaks se los llevó Roger, y en Miami, en el partido que se resolvió en la tercera manga, también Federer le arrebató el tiebreak.
Qué bonito. Y entró, como diría algún comentarista. No sé, sinceramente, usó bien el liftado Roger.
Respeto a todos los demás jugadores.
And he said challenge. It was a glorious shot.
1-0 Federer.
He has to win that point, Berdych, but somehow, of course, Federer Kept himself alive in there with that backhand cross court.
The roar had started well before the ball landed.
2-0 Federer.
Great footwork.
So quick forwards, Federer. But that's because he's willing. He wants to come forwards. He wants to finish the points at the net these days.
Bold from Berdych.
3-1 Federer.
Yeah, it was long. He looks across, but that's the other side from Martin Stepanek. He was wrong last time, probably feels not inclined to get involved again.
Hard to see from that angle.
Yet again, Federer's turning it on in the breaker.
Just pulled up a little bit there. It seems that Federer is obviously way more aggressive, but Berdych is just a little bit passive. Playing to protect, it seems, the scoreboard.
From Luti on his feet. Don't often see that.
This backhand here, Berdych needs to take a bigger step towards it and get his body weight through the shot and hit it like he was going to come to the net afterwards.
Berdych challenging the call, left near sideline. Ball was called in.
He's convinced. And he's right. He had his arms outstretched to Fergus Murphy. What are you doing? Could be an umpire. Oh, it's a great run from Berdych. But Federer's skill again. Too much.
Somehow he just gets to people's weaknesses, Federer. And obviously, I think movement, even though he moves great for a big guy, Berdych, he's not the quickest out there.
Well, if it's 2 or 3 millimeters, Thomas. Yeah.
2 in a row. One there, one there.
Yeah, it's not a popular guy so far this evening. Fergus Murphy.
Let's first song.
It's good to see him smile. He nearly had a go there. He does have a challenge left, but he He's not going to use it on that one. We can give the umpire a harder time. Oh, maybe the best of them all. Again, Federer raises his game when it really mattered. And he takes the first set in 57 minutes.
Three winners and about 18 unforced. There's about 40 shots that it's on his racket, and Thomas Berdych only 8 and 8. So
30 love.
Does not beat Federer if he plays passive tennis. Federer is way too good, especially at the moment. So Berdych's going to have to dare to go for broke, basically.
Love.
I'm not saying he is thinking this, but there's a danger that Berdych might think it was 3-love. I had Federer, he wasn't playing well, he was a bit grumpy. And now I'm a set down. What have I got to do?
I think there's a big risk for that. That's likely. And Federer's going to play better and better and be confident. That's maybe, in many ways, the worst set, if you put it all together, that he's played in a tournament, and somehow he wins it. against the toughest opponent he's played.
Has he played that well this tournament?
I don't think he's had to play well. That's why it's really hard to...
Yeah.
So it's interesting to see that he was pushed early on and he didn't play well because Berdych came out and played well. So maybe this is the kind of wake-up call that Federer, I don't know if he needed it, but I'm expecting him to not look back from that set and in the next couple of rounds should he win here.
For me, he's played well in patches in all his matches, but not consistently well all the way through, not like last year. Where after the first couple of rounds, he just got better and better.
You know, I think, yes, I agree 100%, but I think the difference to me is that he is better. He's a better player. He's better because he has more confidence. And he had that 2017, the whole season behind him coming in here. Whereas last year was more of a hit and hope and we were all amazed. But I agree with you. He played better last year, but I think he's a better player this year.
Yes.
Should he need to play at his very best.
And he's answered the call every time this tournament. As he did then.
$30.
Oh. That's bad news for Berdych.
30-15. $40-15. Again, Berdych. One game all.
Federer broken once in his opening service game. Since then, there's been very little.
That's first serve.
He's dropped just 3 points behind his first serve. 28 points, 1 out of 31.
15 love. Mr. Berdych challenging the ball. Left.
Has to be long, don't you think?
I thought so.
Ball was called in.
Berdych waited till he saw his shot go long. But I think he's entitled to do that.
It's nearly overruled territory for... Yep, there he goes.
15 all.
I agree. Fergus should overrule that one. Too far outside. He's had a few dips in the last couple of rounds, Federer, against Richard Gasquet. At the very end of the match against Marton Fucsovic, he had a little bit of that too. Maybe there's one coming. Oh, maybe not.
As long a rally, I think, as we've had in the match. Again, balletic movement from Federer.
He's so quick around the court, Federer. When he has to be a good dancer.
Yeah, just clipped the top of the net, but I think Berdych had no chance. What an important point.
How does he stay alive in that rally, Federer? The couple of half volleys on the forehand side. Surprised Federer went backwards for that forehand. I thought that's one of those perfect examples where he wants to go forwards these days and take that in the air.
Advantage, Berdych.
So a chance for Berdych to get a kick start to this set. Oh boy, oh boy. He trusted in his skill, as he so often does at times like that.
I mean, if at least Berdych is making Federer beat him with what's supposed to be the worst shot he has, which is the backhand down the line, but it's not the case anymore.
Berdych couldn't do any more.
Advantage, Federer.
Berdych was just half a step quicker. He could have taken that ball a little bit higher and gone down the line.
Federer again challenging Berdych, and he's out of a hole there very impressively. It's 2-1.
New balls, please.
So Federer again stepping it up when he had to.
Yeah, big chance there for Berdych, but It seems to me that the train is starting to leave the station here. Federer has survived the first set, survived that game at some point, and I think both of them are working hard physically. Look like Federer was slightly tired there for a while, but then Berdych looked, he had heavy legs walking to the chair that time.
Love.
There's that same backhand again, that he's got a really good two-handed backhand, but somehow he needs to throw his weight towards the ball more.
Again, beautiful footwork. So he could bring the arm through. First double fault. Just powerful enough.
Advantage, Berdych.
Yeah, it's a much better backhand, this one. And he follows it in afterwards, so he leans on it, and that makes just that little bit of a difference.
Well done. The storyline with Berdych, mighty fine player, beats who he's supposed to. When it gets to the slams against the big players, he doesn't. He's won 2, lost 11 against the top 2 at slams. The 2 he's won were against Federer.
That's right, he beat him at Wimbledon 1 year in the semi-finals.
Yes. Then beat Djokovic, lost to Rafa in the final. And he beat him in the US quarterfinals 6 years ago. But by and large, that stigma has stuck, that he generally for whatever reason, can't get across the line.
No, and it's strange because he's missing just that something against all the top players. It's so weird. So you wonder if it has to do with mental strength. How much does he want it compared to? I mean, in that first set, there were times where you could clearly see that Federer wanted to win that set more than Thomas Berdych. It's just that Berdych was playing better at times. Federer has that need to win tennis matches still, and that'll be the last thing that leaves him, because the skill will always be there.
And listening to you talking about Roger over the last fortnight, that's perhaps the biggest thing that amazes you. His need to win tennis matches.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think at the moment, I think he has a bigger need than even Rafael Nadal, to be honest. And it's just incredible how he can be so relaxed and still have that inside him. Maybe he isn't that relaxed, maybe just his way.
Some thumping serving in that game. And he's 3-2, second set.
That to me, right there, is the shot that is the biggest difference between tennis today and tennis in the 80s and the 90s. Anything high on the forehand side, these guys are able to put away for winners. So tough shots. And Kyle Edmund, actually more than anyone.
Yeah, absolutely. He could be almost in the next court. Still do it. And even if it's not short, Berdych can do it. Well played. Could see Federer at the corner of his eye making that march forward.
You haven't heard any reactions at all from Thomas Berdych today. He was obviously ahead in the first set, but still no commands, no gestures. And it's not that easy to get behind the guy when you're a spectator, when you're a fan of a sport, and you come in and you're not really sure. Of course he wants to win the match, Thomas Berdych. He wants to win, maybe not as much as his opponent, but it's just his way. He's not showing emotion, but at the same time, at some point, I think you got to bluff your way, and not just for the fans, but for Federer too. I'm different this time.
That's what your man Rosengren's been doing with Kyle.
Big difference.
15 love.
And I think that's the best thing about Kyle Edmund in that last match against Grigor Dimitrov. I mean, that to me has to be the best match he's ever played, and that's better than he would have ever played in practice too. You get that feeling with Federer and Nadal that they can raise their level because suddenly there's an energy in the arena with 15,000 people, adrenaline. And apart from that shot, we've seen so many great shots that Federer hits in match situations that he's never hit before. With Thomas Berdych, I don't get the feeling that he plays better in matches than he would have, let's say, in practice yesterday.
I get you. Now, when you watch Federer in practice, of course he's very good, but you wouldn't say this is the greatest player who's ever played this game.
No, you wouldn't. No.
Too inviting. Laps those returns up. What a second serve.
And perfect example right there where, I mean, why on earth does he think going for an ace on the second serve is the right play at this stage of the set?
Game Federer.
No. If Nick Kyrgios did it, you go, that's just crazy. If it's Roger Federer, it's Roger Federer.
Federer leads
4-3.
4 games to 3.
I thought I played on this edge where you're kind of doing some really cool things, and then you can fall off it and make some mistakes because he's forcing you to play so well. So I was happy with how a lot of the match went, and then I just wasn't able to hold on in some of the deeper moments in the sets. But I was happy with how I performed today. Not easy to come off some big wins, biggest wins of my career, and crazy stages like quarterfinals of a slam. That's crazy to me. And then deal with this stuff off the court as well. So to be able to do that and just focus on the tennis and to try and conduct myself correctly on the court and to make sure that I wasn't letting anything bother me or affect me was very important to me, that I keep my head in the right place. And I was able to do that, and I'm proud of myself for that.
Seats, please. Thank you.
Plenty of fire in the belly for Roger Federer today.
Please.
No, he pulled off that. Second time we've seen him wince. Don't know if there's anything in that or he's just wincing at the shot. And caused that awkward play. Oh, how many different backhands do you want?
Love steady.
Just too beautiful. The way he lines this backhand up is so good. Much better technique than he used to have.
Well played.
That's what he's going to have to do. He's going to have to take some chances tactically, and then he's going to have to hope that the execution is right there. When you do pull something off that you haven't pulled off before, there needs to be an emotional let out or a gesture, because, whoa, I did it.
He looked rather flat there. And here are 2 break points for Federer.
Roger, por hablar en argentino.
Sí, yo creo que está controlando perfectamente todas las situaciones Federer, incluso desde el inicio que parecía que no lo controlaba. Es como que cuando, bueno, podríamos decirlo así, ¿no? Y con todo el respeto a Berdych, que es un jugadorazo, cuando él ha creído oportuno, ha apretado, ha subido una marcha, y ahora lo mismo, 4-3, huele sangre y va por él, y lo consigue.
Y ya son, como diría nuestro gran Ángel Nieto, que sigue por ahí, 12 más 1, bueno, no, 13 es una, en Brasil da buena suerte. Pero vamos, lo de Roger es que es...
Es muy fuerte poder hacer eso ante Berdych, ¿no? Poder especular y esperar el momento ideal para acelerar y llevarte el set.
Sí, sí, porque el resto de tomas, bueno, tú ya lo dijiste hace rato y es que se ve, vamos, peligroso.
Sí, especialmente, fíjate, el de revés lo hace muy sencillo, un movimiento muy corto. Aquí se ve a la perfección y encuentra un ángulo espectacular. Federer quería presionar. Ahora es Federer el que tiene la presión de ganar el set, como ha tenido Berdych en el 5-3 del primero.
Thomas se enfrentó a una bola que cogía altura rápidamente.
Está gestionando muy bien el tempo del partido, el suizo.
Forzado las cosas Roger, 2 set points Roger Federer.
Fíjate que él juega mucho con el revés cortado, pero es tan rápido de piernas Federer que cuando le cambia a la derecha, ahí mira cómo llega Berdych, llega con 2 pasos enormes y tiene que soltar ahí un palo que no lo controla.
Y se le va el resto, precisión suiza, bueno, ha retrasado un minuto, es solo 1 hora y 31, las 9:05, Festival de Federer pese a un gran Berdych en Melbourne. 95. Parece que Thomas se va un momento al cuarto de baño, viene escoltado. Y Roger, pues para no enfriarse, si es verdad, ahora que hay tiempo podemos hablar, que siempre se dice tópico, Melbourne es la ciudad de las 4 estaciones, pero claro que varía lo de jugar de día o de noche. Hay sitios que es verdad.
Sí,
noche.
varía mucho porque bota mucho más la pelota, hace mucho más calor, es diferente. Fíjate, Federer, que profesional, que aunque se esté calentito, él ahora si ve que Berdych se va al vestuario, pues se pone la chaquetita de chándal, se queda calentito, tranquilo. Pues quería explicar que Guillermo Luque me preguntaba,
el cortado,
una pregunta
¿no?
técnica, dice,
Okay.
Parece que Federer ya no usa demasiado el golpe que en su día bautizaste como la chiquitita. Si te explico de dónde viene la chiquitita, ahora que hay tiempo, es muy gracioso. Una vez Alberto Berasategui, amigo y compañero y extenista, jugaba contra Tim Henman, y cuando salió de la pista decía, es que me jugaba la chiquitita, como un revés cortado al cuadro de la zona de revés de Alberto, que es donde más le dolía, ¿no? Entonces el británico no tenía tanta fuerza, pero sí era muy espabilado y le jugaba ahí cortitas. Entonces le llamaba la chiquitita. Cuando Berasategui se fue a la ducha, me viene Henman, que no entendía español, y me dice, what is la chiquitita?
Como
porque
la
veía
canción.
que daba toda una explicación. Y entonces le digo, pues que tú le juegas ahí la cortita al revés, que le molesta mucho. Pues desde ese día, y te hablo igual hace, pues no sé, unos 15 o 20 años, Tim Henman y yo entre nosotros nos llamamos Chiqui. O sea, en el móvil yo tengo Chiqui, el número de teléfono de Tim Henman. Y bueno, preguntaba a Luque si por qué no lo utiliza tanto ahora Federer. Bueno, en días como hoy lo está utilizando un poco más, pero él está tirando más de revés liftado, más plano, cambia más con el paralelo. Y también sí que creo que lo está utilizando como hoy para después cambiar y colocarse con su derecha. Federer, cuando juega bastante con la chiquitita o el revés cortado, es para que sus rivales levanten un poquito la pelota y después enseguida se coloque con su derecha. Así que bueno, espero que te haya servido.
Nos ha servido a todos.
Sí,
Por tanto,
señor.
ya hay clima total y absoluto de sesión nocturna, ¿eh?
¿Perdona, Antonio?
Que ya hay clima total y absoluto de sesión nocturna,
Sí.
que esto empezó a las 7:30 de la tarde, con sol, y
Señor.
ahora mismo ya hay clima total. Aquí son las 9:10 de la noche, pero ya es noche cerrada aquí en Melbourne.
Bueno, vamos a repasar un poquito lo acontecido en este miércoles 24 de enero del 2018. Ya hay semis femeninas. Repasamos lo acontecido entre Tennis Sangren. Antes veíamos la entrevista al estadounidense, que ha sido la auténtica revelación, pero ATP World Tour ha tenido una iniciativa extraordinaria, hay que reconocérselo también, con el torneo de maestros de Milán. Solo jugaban 5 sets, pero a 4 juegos, pero este joven coreano ganó ahí. Y de repente, vamos, el otro día casi con sarna. Ya sabéis que los asiáticos tienen fama, todo lo copian, pero Alec aquí se aprende en todos lados y resulta que ganó a Djokovic. Hoy ha podido con tenis.
Sí, una de las revelaciones de este torneo, obviamente, Chang, que ha vuelto a declarar su admiración por Novak Djokovic y ha dicho que este es el torneo que quiere ganar, el Abierto a Australia, porque él admiraba mucho a Tsonga y admira mucho a Novak Djokovic, y es un torneo en el que ha ganado 6 veces. Por cierto, estamos viendo la pista a Roger Federer al fondo, flexionar, hacer ejercicios, mira, ya nos lo muestran en pantalla, intentando activarse un poquito, no quedarse frío.
Medical timeout, ha pedido tiempo para, bueno, para que le miren en algún lugar que probablemente en pista pues no le pueden pues observar, etcétera.
Pues que le estamos viendo moverse, activarse, haciendo ejercicios laterales, jugando reveses, ahora tirando derechas, con Roger Federer intentando no quedarse frío. Y yo creo que una de las conclusiones, Alex, también de este torneo es que Thomas Berdych está de vuelta. El año pasado no fue su mejor año. El ex número 4 del mundo, que no ganó títulos, no ganaba desde 2016, pero que con el nivel de tenis que está mostrando va a ser otro de los actores principales a volver al top 10.
Bueno, tú antes comentabas que en realidad
Ken Rosewall, who was 43 when he made it back in the 70s. If Roger keeps improving like he is now, he's going to be a heck of a player when he's 43.
Yes, I agree. It's easy, much easier for him because everyone wants him, I think, to stick around, and they'll do everything they can to help Federer out in a way by maybe making the courts a little bit quicker like they have here at the Australian Open. Maybe you can speed up the tennis balls they're playing with, because obviously he's the most important thing that's ever happened to men's tennis.
So into set number 3. What have they been able to do with Berdych?
Seats, please.
I've seen him wincing.
Third set.
We've not really seen any impediment in his movement, but maybe it's hurting a bit. See how he goes here.
Yeah. 15 love.
Is that the shot of a man who's had to wait 6 or 7 minutes?
Yeah, or Mr. Nice Guy here, Mr. Federer, trying to hit a drop shot and see what Berdych's movement is like.
$15 all.
Yeah, I was a bit conscious of his movement there, Berdych.
It seems like when he has to come back to the same corner, maybe push off the right leg.
$40-15.
Very worrying for players if they come to the Australian Open and get injured through the tournament, like Rafa Nadal last night. What's that going to do for the rest of his season?
Yeah, Rafa was pretty angry, wasn't he, last night? Hates quitting. I have to say, though, and I'm a big Rafa fan. Don't just say that, I really am. But I thought he was way off the mark in his press conference when he started blaming the tour for people being injured as much as they are, saying something's got to be done. He didn't actually offer a solution, but surely in the end it's down to the individual how much you play. Roger would tell him that.
Yes, I think it is. I think it's you got to pick your surfaces for sure, and I mean you're forced to play, I believe, in all the Masters Series tournaments on the ATP Tour, but somehow you can get around it when you're older and over 30. So yeah, I think it's not the tour. Tour is not to be blamed. Play less tournaments, play on the surfaces you like.
Shot. And Roger was saying, not in reply to Rafa, he said it before. In the old days, guys retired when they were 30, 31.
Yep.
So they've got to expect when they get to 31, 32, the injuries are going to be more frequent.
Yeah, really. The difference, I think, today is again is that the young players are not replacing the players that are over 30, and therefore the best players are all over 30. Actually something wrong with the younger generation, not the older.
I think this young generation are the real deal. The one before.
I agree. I agree.
There's a rather worrying, nonchalant air about Federer at the moment. What a flicker. But even by his standards, that was pretty special.
Again, the movement is obviously incredible. But speed starts in the heart, and somehow he flicks this ball back cross-court. Had to change his grip, of course, the old continental grip. Doesn't practice that shot in practice.
Fifteen love. Fifteen all.
Yes, he's looking dangerous again.
Ready, 15.
It's good for Berdych. He's not buckling.
Try and keep the rallies as short as possible, even though Federer favors that too. Comes back to you so quickly, that return.
Super timing.
Deuce.
Perplexed when he misses a shot like that.
That would test out any groin problem. That rally.
It's so safe. Once he gets hold of the rally with the forehand, when he's in this kind of mood, make sure he doesn't miss. And again, one of the, maybe the best overhead of all time in my book. Very rarely makes a mistake above his head.
Worth a challenge.
Challenging the call. Left center service line ball was called out.
He needs this.
Ooh. Second serve. Mr. Federer challenging the ball. Left baseline. Ball is called in.
Federer absolutely convinced this is out.
Is it out or yes, his camp?
Oh. His eyesight's that good.
Advantage. Federer.
Go and smile, Roger.
Mr. Berdych has 2 challenges remaining.
Just a feeling I had.
It's break point.
Another
nail in the coffin. And it's a big one. 2 sets, 2-1. The champion looks as if he's on his way.
Tennispoint.co.uk, Europe's biggest online tennis specialist. More than 300,000 tennis items. More than 100 premium brands. Deal of the day. Every day a special offer. Order now with free shipping at tennispoint.co.uk.
Advantage you.
It's all over. Nah, 2 sets to 1. Still time. Exciting. A little flutter with Betway, I think.
Yeah, plenty of in-play options, match winner, set betting, correct score.
I can't see them. I'm streaming it right here.
Oh, that was out. Definitely was. Look, he's in trouble now.
For the love of the game, Betway.com.
What is that?
The Google Pixel 2.
Will it take ages to charge?
No, it charges in 15 minutes.
What happens if I snap hair?
You get a great shot.
Will it ever do this?
Nope, there's unlimited photo storage.
So I can take as many as I want?
As many as you want.
Seats quickly, please. Ladies and gentlemen, seats, please.
It looks as if the game's up for Berdych. You never know. But Federer is not the kind of animal who's going to get a lead like this.
Players are ready. The nearest seat, please. Thank you. Love 15.
In slams now, Federer's won the last 11 sets against Berdych. Hold on. That noise you can hear is me eating my words.
Love 13.
Wasn't a Federer volley, was it? What a chance there for 3 break points.
No, you just cannot miss that shot. Obviously, that was over the highest part of the net, but has to be able to spin that over.
Has he switched off just for a moment? It seems like that.
A couple of loose errors, that's for sure. Maybe a little bit more pace off of Thomas Berdych's racket.
Left. First one.
Invariably in this tournament, it's at times like this that the serve has really worked for Federer. Not there. What a return. He picked it and he executed perfectly. And Berdych's back level.
2 games off.
So dangerous. These good ball strikers like Thomas Berdych and Juan Martín del Potro. Guys that have big shots off of both wings, especially the forehand side. When they feel like they're out of the tournament and they have lost, they can relax just a little bit. Suddenly they can hit people off the court, not through the whole match, but for a little bit, even the likes of Roger Federer. And somehow it's easier to give yourself a fist pump when you're down 2 sets to love than up. For certain players, for sure.
It was a wonderful shot, but it was interesting that Berdych didn't feel he could get to it. You may see a few more of these. This is typical Federer.
Yeah, and I really like when he has to come forwards and play a volley. That means that his approach shot, when he had the chance to put the ball away, he didn't. He pushed Berdych to make another shot, and eventually wins it with a safe volley. He's playing within himself, Federer, when he has to.
Gulping in there. He's had to work really hard. This game no different. Did the trick, and wouldn't you know it, after being broken, Federer
15-14.
switches on the afterburners and 2 break points.
Gutsy second serve from Berdych. A lot of slice on that. That's the hardest serve I found this year here at Melbourne Park to return, is the big slice on the serve that just skids through the surface so much.
That's the danger. And Federer reacts so well to being broken. And he's back a break in front in his third set.
3-2.
Tennispoint.co.uk, Europe's biggest online tennis specialist. More than 300,000 tennis items. More than 100 premium brands. Deal of the day. Every day a special offer. Order now with free shipping at tennispoint.co.uk.
Advantage you.
It's all over. Nah, 2-1. Still time. Exciting. A little flutter with Betway, I think.
Yeah, plenty of in-play options, match winner, set betting, correct score.
I can't see that.
I'm streaming it right here.
Oh, That was out. Definitely was. Look, he's in trouble now.
For the love of the game, betway.com.
What is that?
The Google Pixel 2.
Will it take ages to charge?
Nope, it charges in 15 minutes.
What happens if I snap her?
You get a great shot.
Will it ever do this?
Nope, there's unlimited photo storage.
So I can take as many as I want?
As many as you want.
Thank you. Players are ready.
They certainly are. 3-2.
I just wonder if there's a thank you note in the mail from Roger Federer when this tournament is over to Thomas Berdych saying, thanks for waking me up in that first set. Because he hasn't been pushed at all in this tournament, and that was the first time. Just seems like he's looked at his camp after that last service break, and there's something different about him this year compared to last year.
It seems it's this ability to switch it on when it really matters. In all his matches, or as we said before, he's not been outstanding all the way through these matches, no. But when he had to, boy.
Game. Federer.
And now it's glorious.
Yeah, well, he's saving himself for sure. He came to our studio a couple of days, what was it, yesterday, I guess, and there was something different about him. He was
Federer leads 4 games to 2.
I mean, he's obviously one of the greatest guys on our planet, together with you, Simon.
Thank you.
But such a nice guy. But he came in, it was just a fire in him, and we said, thank you for coming. No problem, no problem. And so, is it different defending? Well, I can't believe his 36-year-old is supposed to be the favorites for this tournament. I just have a goal to go to the quarterfinals. It's not a walk in the park like most people think, and it was just like, whoa. It's more driven, more determined this year than last year. A big difference to me. And I think that's the difference on the court, too. I think he switches it on when he feels he needs to.
Yes, because last year it was a bonus. No one really knew what was going to happen, and everything that did happen, one match after another, it was all a plus. Whereas here, he expects to win this tournament.
Yeah, I think he's here to prove something to himself more than anyone else.
Yes. And it goes back to what you were saying earlier on. Why does he want to win tennis matches that much after all he's achieved at the age of 36?
I don't know, but that's what the book should be about. It's his upbringing.
Thank you. Voices, please.
Well, his upbringing in and around tennis, how did he come to the game? How come he plays the way he does? How come he loves to hit balls the way he hits balls? It's just, where does the fire come from? That's what we should study.
Ball boy, ball boy.
And few people talk about the fire in Federer. They talk about the brilliant movement. They talk about the brilliant shots. They don't talk about what you've just been talking about.
No, we do with Nadal all the time, because you can see it. I can see it in him now. Not on the court. How dare a moth land on Roger Federer's tennis court.
Yeah. Got it wrong.
Game. Ready.
Well played, Thomas. But the die seems to be cast in this match.
4 games to 3.
4-3.
The Australian Open, in partnership with Rolex.
Tennispoint.co.uk, Europe's biggest online tennis specialist. More than 300,000 tennis items. More than 100 premium brands. Deal of the day. Every day a special offer. Order now with free shipping at tennispoint.co.uk.
Advantage you.
Castles rising from the sea. Long-lost treasures revealing themselves. Magic is all around. And the best magic of all is finding where yours begins. Tie, smooth as silk.
Choose and buy your perfect car with complete control. Visit carwow.com and see what you could save.
Yep, that's where we are. But maybe it won't be where Thomas Berdych is for much longer. Wonderful.
Love 15.
It's great to see that obviously he's going to keep trying, but this is stretched to the limit there from Berdych.
One brilliant backhand answered with another.
15 all.
Just mistimed his jump.
It's just high enough. It'll be interesting to see Berdych here. His lob keeps floating, but he mistimed it. You're right.
Whereas Federer, as you say, never misses those shots.
Game, Federer.
It's difficult to know, looking at that shot of Ivan Lubicic, how much influence
Federer
coaches have with Roger Federer.
Games 2-3.
He picks his people who he likes. He likes the sound of the kind of things they're saying. Do they influence him much? What do you think?
I think it's like in school. I think it's the same. I think your first grade teacher, your second grade teacher, the chemistry teacher you didn't like in 7th grade, I think they all influence you, and I think Federer has somehow figured that out. And he's taken things from every coach, good and bad, I think.
$15.
But in many ways, Severin Lute is really his Uncle Tony. He's been with him for so long.
Wonderful hitting. And a great effort from Berdych, appreciated by the crowd.
$15 all.
A weary trudge back there.
Just puts enough backspin on that ball so it doesn't skid forwards, it skids sideways. The perfect winner.
That's first song.
A lot of players, a lot of young players today that try to hit these big winners, but his opponent is so 3 or 4 steps away from the ball, but the perfect winner is when you get there just at the second bounce.
Yeah, he's beginning to look a little tired.
15-30.
Even by his standards, that was a bit of a glory shot. Yeah, I thought he was distracted. There's something on the court.
Yeah, Feather. I think Feathers. Maybe remember that famous feather that came down when Andy Murray was supposed to serve in the first tiebreaker of a finals against Novak Djokovic. I would like to see a little bit more of that from Berdych. I know it's hard, but just to send the signal to Federer, or a message, it's going to look different today, but it hasn't.
Mr. Berdych challenging the call, right service line.
Been testing him tonight, haven't they? Both of them.
Sure have. And they've enjoyed making him uncomfortable. Oh, well played, Thomas Berdych. Listen to the roar, almost as big as anything we've had. But has he just delayed the inevitable for a couple of minutes?
5 games.
Here we go then. 2 hours and 13 minutes.
Love.
Go on, challenge.
Didn't. I thought that was close.
So did I, actually. It's half a joke, but I thought it was all right.
Important game, I think, this for Federer. He let up when he played Richard Gasquet's serve for the match. Be good to practice and serve these matches out when he has to just in case.
That looked pretty good.
40 love.
So 3 match points. They love being here.
Game, set,
Mr. Perfect continues his perfect record here.
3 sets to love.
10 quarterfinals he's been in the Australian Open. He's won all 10. And he's through to the semi-final. Great finish.
Yeah, excellent match. I mean, really good. Came out, did not play well in the beginning. But the fire gets him through that first set. Bit of anger shown, and then, yeah, cruise control for the next 2 sets. I really think, again, as good as he's ever been.
He was distinctly unhappy and almost uneasy at the start, but he was pretty good with himself by the close.
Yeah, I really think that he's a better player this year than he was last year. He's not playing better. I think you're right there. He's more consistent last year, but somehow it's just got to be so frustrating in one way, but we don't really see it on Thomas Berdych. I wish we could see a little more fire in there, a little bit of a different match, different look, but they tend to look pretty similar, these matches.
It's his 7th quarterfinal here. He's only won a couple. Semi-finals in 2014, semi-finals in 2015.
We could see a little more fire in there, a little bit of a different match, different look, but they tend to look pretty similar, these matches.
It's his 7th quarterfinal here. He's only won a couple. Semi-finals in 2014, semi-finals in 2015.